Okay, so today's message is called Loving the Unlovable. It's almost like a continuation to our earlier conversation. So, this is something everybody deals with, and me particularly, um, certain circumstances is making this very difficult for me, but I'm trying my best and holding on to God really tight. So I was talking to God about it, and I guess why not share my conversation with Him? I do have some scriptures to help us be guided by His Word in this conversation. So, starting off, we can start with Jesus' command to love, and we can find it John 13:34 and 35. He says, "A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another." And then another example is Matthew 22:37-39. Jesus replied, "I love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." So we know that it's our duty to love each other. And then what about the people that are very difficult to love? Well, we find two examples here in Matthew 5:43 and 44. "You have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Matthew 5:43 and 44. Luke 6:27-28. "But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you." That is a hard thing to do. And I want to share a little bit of my life story, because it kind of proves a little bit some of this scripture. And it's like I had a person that was very mean to me and it was mistreating me a lot growing up. And I would have so much resentment towards this person. And it was eating at my soul. It's like a venom that is just growing. It's like weeds with thorns that would just spread for every relationship in my life and every aspect of my life. It affected my day to day. And I didn't notice it until God brought it to my attention one day when I was just like struggling, like, "God, how do I fix my life? Like, it's a mess right now." And one of the things is like the unforgiveness, and not particularly only unforgiveness, because I felt like, okay, made the decision that I'm going to forgive this person, and I'm just going to forgive them, and that's it. But the resentment was still there, and I still had to interact with this person every now and then, because it's a family member. And I still had like that resentment and kind of like a little bit of hate towards that person. And it was the spirit was telling me, like, you gotta work with that. You can't just keep brushing that away and keep putting it under the rug. And then remembering that you're supposed to love your enemies, like, I couldn't figure out how to do that. But then when I read, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you," in another version is, "Bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you." So I was like, okay, so instead of attacking back my enemies and trying to find revenge for myself, I'm going to grit in my teeth, pray for them. Like, and at first it was like, okay, God bless them. Or it was just short and simple, and I was kind of like, yeah. And I had to consistently put effort and fight with my own wanting to, I don't want to do this. This feels dumb. And I was still like, okay, I'm just going to still do it even if I don't want to. And then what happened is that when I started doing that more, at some point it started growing, the prayer started growing more like deeper and more intentional, and I started to actually mean the prayer that I was doing towards this person that still did things that kind of messed with my life. And what that did is that with a lot of time and a lot of prayer and seeking God and not giving up, because some days I was going great and then I would drop and then I would have to start back again. After a long time doing that, that hate and resentment started turning slowly into compassion, because I started to be a little more open to listening to that person when they would talk to me. Because at first that person would talk to me and my mind would kind of like shut up, because I would have this wall of memories that didn't let me really pay attention to what they were saying. They would be talking a whole lot, but I was in my mind running all of those terrible memories that this person did to me. And there was no really communication. That was that wall of resentment there, and the wall of whatever bad memories that were in there. But when in the process of being more intentional, after practicing a lot, praying for this person, that wall started being like less strong and weakening down. And when we had conversation, I was actually paying attention to what that person was telling me. And then this person, since I didn't really speak much in the conversation, that person kind of started opening up and talking about their past life and their traumas and their situations. And then what that did is that I understood why that person treated me in that way. And it was this shower of guilt that I felt, because like, oh man, this person really has suffered. And yes, this person made me suffer, but now I understand why this person treated me the way that that person treated me, because they went through that hardship and they didn't have any help, and they didn't go to our Father for him to redeem us and fix us and help us and guide us to be a better person towards me or towards other people. So no wonder this person acted in this bad way. They were hurt and they didn't get healing, and they didn't know how to seek that healing. And that transformed my hate into compassion. And it's amazing because it almost feels like magic in a way. It's like this, the power of the truth. This truth shall set you free. So when I learned the truth of what was really going on, it's like everything just immediately switched. The emotion immediately, the hate went away and the compassion came in and substituted that hate. And now when I interact with this person, who is still very difficult to deal with sometimes, it's not like because I had this transformation, now this person is a good person. This person still does things that's very difficult to deal with. But now I have the patience to deal with this person. But that person does no longer deeply affects me and ruins the rest of my day, week, or year. And I can live in that peace that surpasses understanding, because I surrendered the wanting vengeance, and I surrendered the me wanting to hold on to that anger or that resentment, because I wanted to hold on to it. Part of me wanted to be like, yeah, I'll forgive that person, but I don't want to let go of that resentment, because I feel like if I don't hold on to that resentment, then I am betraying myself in the past that went through that pain. And that is just the enemy trying to play games with your mind, and trying to keep you in that resentment, because he's like, oh, but you're just gonna let that go? Are you going to like forget and forgive and forget everything that person did to you, look at how it ruined your life. Look at how you're still struggling through the trauma that cost you. And it was a constant battle. Every day I had to, unwillingly, but I'm ignoring the flesh, I'm ignoring the enemy, and I'm going to stand in the fire of surrendering that wanting vengeance and that wanting to hold on to discernment to God. And I told God, I don't know how to love like you. I need you to step in and do that for me. And I need you to teach me how to do that. I need you to heal me to be able to do that, because I have so much brokenness in my heart that it's very difficult for me to follow your step. But you asking us to follow your steps, give me the strength, give me the wisdom. And I used his word and his like guidance. Just pray for your enemies, pray for the people that mistreat you. And just by following that kind of like opened the lock in my heart, because my heart was really hardened against this person. And that his word was really that key that opened it up for me to be able to, like, okay, God, I surrender, I give it to you. And that was the transformation that I got from that. And that's basically the majority of my message. And I want to end with what love actually looks like, because we kind of think that love is that emotion that you get when you like someone, or just like the emotional part. But love is much more than that. Sometimes love is still sticking and there, and not giving up on that person, even if the emotion of the feeling in love is not there anymore. So 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. It's easy to do that with people that you get along with, but it's very hard to walk that walk when you have to do it towards someone that you kind of want to punch in the face sometimes. You know? Yep. But it is possible. It is possible to live that life. But you have to hold on to God really tight. He does say that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. If you try to do it by yourself, through your own understanding, through your own strength, you might be able to do it for a little bit. But there will come a time where the resentment in the back of your head is screaming so loud that it's going to take over. Because I've tried to do it by myself. I tried to forgive on my own. I try to be patient on my own and love on my own, and I cannot. I have limits, and I break, and I want to blow it all to pieces. But I go to God and I tell him, God, my cup is empty. And I need you to fill that. And I need you to teach me how to love like you love. And equip me to love like you love. We have to go to him. We can't just read the word and try to do his word on our own. We will not be able to do it. We will fall every time. I've tried. It does not work. Don't recommend. So, with things like this and everything that we learn from his word, we have to go to him and ask him to help us and hold our hands, because walking this walk without God is impossible. When he tells us be perfect like I am perfect, he's not telling us to do it by ourselves, by our own strength. He gave us his spirit. So let's hold on to that spirit. And if we fall, we are forgiven. We just go to him, sorry God, please help me not do this again. And keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. Kind of like learning how to ride a bike. You're going to fall a billion times, but there will be a day where you get up on that bike and you will never fall again. And you might fall, but you get up and just, you can ride longer and you can get better. And that is how it is walking with God. It's like constant getting better, little by little, drop by drop, step by step. Even if you take one step forward and 2 steps back, he will help you, he will hold your hand, and you will continue growing, you will continue getting better. Don't give up on yourself, because God didn't give up on you. Don't give up on yourself. So go to him, hold his hand, and we will make it. We will make it, because he is not going to give up on us. He's not going to turn his back on us. He is faithful, even if we don't deserve it. And that's the most beautiful part, that we don't deserve any of this, but he loves us so much that he is patient, and even if we mess up, he's going to receive us with open hands and be like, okay, you kind of messed up here a little bit, but you've asked for permission, for forgiveness. I forgive you. Come on, take my hand. Let's try again. He's like that good parent, like that good dad that is really there for you. And you might mess up, and he will just be like, okay, bud, let's just try again. That's our Father. So let's take advantage of that. Let's remind ourselves of that, and live in that hope and that peace that he will help us become more like him. But we have to do it through him and with him. And that is my message of the day.